Are you alleging that she keyed your car?
Scratched?
Absolutely not. Your problem is when you do something wrong, as you did, you lack the sympathy factor.
This is Judge Judy. Jessica Camacho says neighbor Jennifer Rumps Miller vandalized her car after she accidentally parked in her spot.
Now, it's case number 32 on the calendar in the matter of Camacho versus Rump Miller. Both parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge.
Ms. Camacho, how long have you been living in your apartment?
A little over a year, Your Honor.
When did you move in? Give me the date.
July 2019.
And your apartment comes with an assigned parking space, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And what number is your parking space?
60.
Now, Ms. Miller, how long have you been living in the complex? You both live in the same complex?
Yes, Your Honor, that's
How long
correct.
have you been living there?
Approximately 3 years.
And what number is your parking space?
64.
So, am I correct that they are 3 or 4 spots away from each other?
Yes.
Okay. This is what the case is about. Ms. Camacho, you claim that the defendant vandalized your car because you mistakenly parked in her parking space.
Yes.
You want to be compensated to the tune of over $4,000. Royally annoyed that you parked in her space, she says she merely poured some mild detergent on your windshield to show her displeasure, causing nothing close to $4,000 worth of damage. So I have a couple of questions for you. Now, this incident happened in December of 2019.
Yes. Yeah, December 14.
And on December 14th, you'd been living in the building and parking in your parking space for approximately 6 months.
Yes.
So I'd like you to explain to me how, after 6 months, you, according to what you wrote, mistakenly parked in her spot in December.
Yeah, I came at night. We had Christmas dinner. I parked on her number.
I asked you why.
I wasn't paying attention.
Had you had too much to drink?
No, Your Honor.
I mean, had you parked in her spot before?
No, it was the first occurrence.
Was somebody else parked in your spot?
No.
No one?
No, no one. I just turned to park in earlier than, my spot.
And when you got out, and you've been making the same trip back and forth at least once a day from the garage to where you go into your house, right?
Right.
And so what you're telling me is you didn't realize that you were closer to your house
No,
than
Your
you
Honor.
were before.
I was with a family that came out of town, and we had gone to dinner, and I was distracted by them talking to me and spending time, so no.
Just a second. How many people were in your car?
It was 2 of us, my nephew that came from Utah.
Well, that's not a whole family. That's just one person.
Well, yeah.
So it was just you and one person.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when did you notice there was any damage to your car?
The next day, around noon.
Now tell me what happened when you came down at noon. Who did you come down with?
Oh, I came down alone because I had to go have a haircut. So I came to look for my car, and it wasn't there. I thought, well, where's my car? And then I look over, and that's when I realized that I had parked on the wrong spot.
And you found your car in what condition?
Well, there was laundry detergent all over the car. The windshield wipers have been broken, and there was a note.
Do you have the note?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. And I assume, Miss Miller, that you wrote that note.
Yes, ma'am.
Consider yourself lucky you weren't towed. Do not park in anybody else's paid parking spot again.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
And now I'd like to see photographs that you took of the car that day. That's the back windshield. Is that the one that was bent?
It was torn out, actually.
What about the front windshield
Right
wipers?
here.
Were they torn out?
Yes. Can I change it?
May I see?
So that's the laundry detergent on
Windshield.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the windshield wiper front. So both of them on the front,
Got
too.
it. Okay. And the car itself, I see the laundry detergent on the windshield. Could you show me photographs of the laundry detergent on the car itself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay. Now, when you found the car in this condition, what did you do?
I called management, and I spoke to the manager. I told him what I found.
Don't tell me what they said. Did they have cameras?
No.
I assume you ascertained that the perpetrator of this vandalism was the defendant by the note that said you had parked in her space.
That's right.
When next did you meet Miss Miller?
December 14 was the incident. I called management, because I wanted to settle this matter between us without involving the police. Management said they were going to contact the resident in question. I gave them 3 days before I filed a police report to hear from her and work things out between each other. I haven't heard from Ms. Rumps. On December 17, I filed a police report.
May I see that, please? Got it. So that was on the 17th. And when did you hear again from either management or from the defendant?
Management called, I would say, with me and make things right, that she wanted an estimate of the damages.
Okay, don't tell me what else they said. Did you meet with her?
Yes, I did, in January.
You met with her in the office?
Yes, we did. The manager agreed to mediate.
Had you had the car fixed between December 15th and the January meeting?
I had it partially fixed, Your Honor. I fixed the windshield wipers and had it multiple times washed. I had an estimate by Toyota dealer. So, yeah, I had it partially fixed.
And how much did you spend to have it partially fixed that you have receipts for?
Well, roughly, I don't know, $250, $300.
This is a court. This is not a roughly. This is not a $250. You had 3 windshield wipers. I'd like to see what you spent to fix them.
Okay. So that's the wiper right there, one of them.
Oh, so you bought the wipers from Amazon?
Yes, my boyfriend offered to fix them.
Got it. Now, what is it that you say is wrong with the car physically that was a result of what Miss Miller poured on the car?
Yeah, so per Toyota diagnostic, they need to flush the AC. They need full engine
What
flush.
do they need to flush?
Because the detergent got on the vents, all the air vents.
You mean drip down from the windshield?
Yes, from the front wheel. Yes.
West Coast Toyota.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, guest request to have dents assessed. Did you allege in the police report that she caused dents in your car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then show me where. Just point it out to me in the police report. Well, I see that. I just want to see where in the police report you attribute that to her.
Right here.
Okay. Could you point out where you allege in the police report any dents in the car that she caused? Just point it out to me. I may have missed it. Windshield keyed. You didn't tell me that anybody keyed your car. Are you alleging that she keyed your car?
No.
Where?
Well, there were some areas, though, but she said she didn't do it, so I didn't.
Absolutely not.
Okay, shh, don't. Miss Miller, your problem is when you do something wrong, as you did,
Yes.
you lack the sympathy factor if someone is exaggerating. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I apologize.
Okay, can we get back to the bill, please?
This is just the total of the estimate of that day. I have 3 estimates of the work they recommended to be done on the car.
I only want to see estimates. Be very careful, Ms. Camacho, of the things that you are alleging that were caused by the defendant. Do you understand? Toyota,
Yes.
they gave you an estimate of $150.
No. That was the initial evaluation of the car because I was scared, Your Honor. I didn't know what else was going on with the car. Maybe there was something that was done with the naked eye that I couldn't see.
Fine. So let me see what Toyota said. Is that from Toyota?
Yes, Your Honor. I went to 3 different places.
I'd like to see Toyota.
Okay, this is Toyota.
Now I'd like to go back to the photographs of what you are alleging, other than the windshield wipers, which I've allotted you $250 for the windshield wipers and $150 for the assessment. So far, we're up to $400.
Yes, Your Honor. The assessment includes that the Toyota dealer recommended the whole car needed to be
understand
painted.
Okay, I got it. I want to see the picture of what you're alleging the damage was that she caused. You showed me one picture that looked like a little dent. I want to know if you have any others.
No, that's it, Your
You didn't
Honor.
show me a picture worth $4,000.
No, that was all for the dents, Your Honor.
Well, I would suggest that you get that dent pulled out. It's not a $4,000 dent.
No,
Okay.
but the paint job is.
Miss Miller, you want to tell me why, instead of just putting on a note on her car, if you do this again, it will be unpleasant. Parked in your spot, go to your apartment, get detergent, come down. So it was a well-thought-out process. You want to tell me why an otherwise reasonable, intelligent person would do something like that?
First and foremost, I know what I did was wrong. and I feel great remorse for it, and I can assure you, the defendant, everyone, I would never do something like this ever again. There's no excuse for my behavior.
Great.
It was displaced frustration and anger, and it wasn't correct that I took it out on her. I did go through the correct channels. I contacted our security patrol that we have. I did not receive a response. I then contacted the phone number. There's a towing company placard. When I spoke to the gentleman via the tow truck company, he said, in order to have the vehicle towed, I would need to show a copy of my lease. It was 5 a.m. I did not have that on me, nor did I know where it was at the moment. I was very upset and distraught.
What time did you come home?
5:15 in the morning.
Okay. So you tried to go through all the channels. You couldn't
Yes, Your
get
Honor.
any satisfaction from any. You couldn't get satisfaction
Yes, Your
from
Honor.
anybody. I got it. Your initial statement to me really addressed the whole evening. You understand that it was the wrong thing to do.
Absolutely.
You apologized. You took out your frustration on Ms. Camacho's car.
Yeah.
She spent to have it fixed. I do not believe that you caused $5,000 worth of damage to her car. Do you work, Ms. Camacho?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Since December of this year, have you been going to work?
Yes.
And you've been getting to work by your car?
Yes.
Unflushed, unsanitized. You haven't had it in repair for any engine problems since December?
No. However,
Okay.
Your Honor.
So, yes. Yeah.
You wanted to see more pictures. I have the after pictures
Yes,
of the decals that are permanently stained, as well as the paint. So the problem with the paint is that when you run your fingers through it, it's corroded because the laundry detergent chemicals in it corroded the paint. So now it's like a
Oh,
matte.
well, that's a different picture. Just a
Yes.
second. That's a different picture from the picture that you showed me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before with just one dent.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is her rear spoiler. The paint is noticeably chipping and peeling. However, in my pictures that I took directly after the incident, it shows the same thing.
No. How did you get to court today?
In my car.
We're going to have somebody take pictures of your car all over, and we're going to come back.
Jessica Camacho has accused neighbor Blades and damaging the paint on her car after she accidentally parked in her spot.
When was that picture taken? After the car was washed or before?
Yes, after the car was washed.
Your Honor, I too have pictures.
I would like to see your pictures of the car.
I took pictures directly
is now.
after the incident because I knew in my gut what I did was very wrong, and I had a very strong gut feeling that somehow this would be turned against me and it would be claimed more than what had
it was
actually
turned
happened.
against you because you were wrong. Did you take current pictures of the car?
I took pictures right after the incident, and yes, I did take current pictures as well.
I'd like to see your current pictures of the
Okay.
car.
Your Honor, can
Because
I say
if
one?
what she's showing me is the way the car looks now, and it's discolored because of the laundry detergent, then I agree with her.
This is the picture that I took directly after the incident.
Yes, that I
Okay.
got.
Okay.
I want to see pictures of her car now.
So this is the best
I mean,
picture.
I saw the pictures of it.
Yes, ma'am. This is the best picture that I have. This is her rear spoiler. The paint is noticeably chipping and peeling. However, in my pictures that I took directly after the incident, it shows the same thing.
No. I'm not interested in the pictures that you took directly afterwards. I'm
Well, the
interested
reason
in
being,
seeing
ma'am, it shows
what her
that-
car looks now. Miss Camacho, how did you get to court today? Graphs that you showed me earlier of the way the car looks now with what appears both on the door frame and on the bottom of the car, where the car appears to be stained
Yes, Your Honor.
and discolored.
Yes, it's still
That's the way
discolored.
it looks today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So we're going to have one of my clerks go out and take a photograph of your car, and we're going to recall this case. Do you understand?
Yes. Can I say one more
Because
thing?
I just have to set an amount of damages. If the damages are for the dents, which I assume some of them did, because when you had to get up to pour stuff
No,
on the
ma'am.
windshield, you... Okay,
Absolutely
well,
not.
whatever.
Well, honestly,
Whatever.
I did break the
I
rear
wanna see what
windshield
the
wiper
car looks-
blade, and I did pour detergent, but that's
On-
all I
on
did.
the front?
On the front windshield and the driver's side window is where I poured the detergent. The very back of the car,
Yes.
I did break the windshield wiper arm completely, and that's all the damage I did.
Okay. If you say that it ate into the paint or whatever, is that what you're saying, that it ate into the paint?
Yes,
Ms.
Your
Camacho?
Honor, it's corroded.
Okay. If it did, don't speak. If it did, it will show up in the pictures that somebody is going to take, and then I will make an appropriate order. There's no question as to liability. The defendant is liable. The only question is how much. Now, we're going to have somebody take pictures of your car, this case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'd like to see the damage.
My car is white, Your Honor, and now it's matte, so it doesn't have a shine anymore because of the corrosion from the laundry detergent.
I did call Arm & Hammer, and I did ask them if they have any testing.
You can't tell me what Arm & Hammer told you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. In a case recalled from earlier today, Jessica Camacho is suing her apartment complex neighbor, Jennifer Rumps Miller, for vandalizing her car after she accidentally parked in her spot.
Judge, this is a recall of case number 32 in the matter of Camacho versus Rump Miller. Parties are reminded you're still under oath.
Thank you, Bird. Ms. Camacho, did you take photographs, or did someone take photographs of your car that you wanted to show me?
Yes, Your Honor, we did. So
I'd like to see the damage. Okay, so around the door frame,
yeah, those are the decals.
I see that there is a discoloration. Anything else?
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
We also made a video of my car is white, Your Honor, and now it's matte, so it doesn't have a shine anymore because of the corrosion from the laundry detergent. So laundry detergent is not for cars, it's for clothes.
No, just a second. I just want to see the pictures. Okay. So that came from the laundry detergent. Yes.
By all the decals, the front where the mirror is at, it's gray. It's not black anymore because of the corrosion.
I don't know if that's from that.
Well, the three estimates that I got, they all agreed.
Just a second. Well, I do see that there is some evidence of still splatter on that. I see it. Okay, very good. Now, you have an 11-year-old car. You're entitled to have the car repainted.
Thank you,
because
Your Honor.
what you did was you put stuff on there that was clearly corrosive on
Your
parts
Honor?
of the car, and you don't have to live with that.
Your Honor, may I interject?
Yes.
I did call Arm & Hammer, and I did ask them if they have any testing.
You can't tell me what Arm & Hammer told you.
Okay.
That's hearsay.
Okay.
If you have an expert here, I'm prepared to hear them.
I understand that.
But
I do have pictures.
Without an expert, I just saw the pictures that were taken today. And so I have to make a judgment as a lay person as to whether or not the discoloration that I just saw plausibly was a result of you pouring detergent on the car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, there are certain things that if you use them in the regular course of yours, any damage, they're going to do exactly what they were designed to do, which is to clean clothes and take out stains. Just as a soft drink, if you drink it, it may not be good for you, but if you put it on a car, it corrodes the paint of the car. So if you use something that is not designed for, especially under these circumstances, and Ms. Miller, I have to tell you that I commend you for saying I acted out of frustration, and I don't think that you actually intended to cause permanent damage to the paint on her car. You did, in fact, intend to cause damage to the windshields of her car, which you
Not
acknowledged.
the windshield, the arm, but
in
yes,
frustration,
ma'am.
frustration, you broke. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,500. You can get your car painted for that. We're done. Thank you.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, his cheating was exposed.
He was still involved with Claudia.
He was lying to the both of us.
Couldn't you tell who he was?
Yeah, I fell for the sweet nothings.
Next Judge Judy.
I had already had my car broken into twice, my carport once, and I just had had enough.
I made a mistake. It was an honest mistake. I didn't mean anything by it.
It was misplaced anger nonetheless.
I was distracted. I admit to that.
She should be awarded a certain amount.
And I think the judgment was fair.
But I do feel that the paint job is extortion. I feel that it is an astronomical request.
And I hold nothing against Miss Jennifer.
Definitely have it towed. I will not behaving in such a manner ever again.
Park on the right spot, yes.
Lord knows I have a change heart.
After making a mistake,
For 3 years, you've been accepting $944 from her.
landlords demand money.
Where do you expect her to get $16,000 from? She's a Section 8 housing person.
But the judge isn't moved by this mother-daughter team.
I assume you would say, Mom, that's the wrong rent.
English is not her first language.
Money is her secondary language.
This is Judge Judy. April Walsh and her mother, Mon Lynn, are suing Mon's former tenant, Maria Nunez, for unpaid rent.
Judge, this is case number 71 on the calendar in the matter of Walsh, Lynn versus Nunez. Parties have been sworn in.
Miss Walsh, are you going to speak for your mother?
Yes, I would. I'd like to try doing that.
Okay, because it is your claim that your mother, who owns some rental property, and you state in the complaint that you manage the property for her.
Yes, I assist. I'm more like an in-house counsel as needed. So when she needs assistance preparing evictions and so forth, I help her with that. But I don't necessarily, as far as the day-to-day, I don't do that.
So the answer is you do not manage the property for her, as
No.
you indicated in your complaint. You do not.
No.
Miss Lynn, how many properties do you own?
I have like 40 different properties.
Are they all single-family homes, or are they multiple dwellings?
Some is multiple. Some is individual and office building.
What kind of property did you rent to Miss Nunez?
It's fourplex. It's in San Jose. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath.
So 4 different apartments, Your
Yeah.
Honor, in the same building.
She only rents one of them, a
Yes.
2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment.
1.5 bath. Yeah.
You started to rent to her 3 years ago.
Yes.
In November
How
2018.
long had you... Don't do that, Miss Walsh. Don't do that again. Do you understand?
Yes.
Back to Miss Lynn, please. 2-bedroom apartment. Do you own all 4 units in that building?
Yes.
Her apartment was leased to her through Section 8 housing. Are the other apartments in that building
No, they are not.
They're rented individually?
Yes.
Are they all 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartments?
The front one is a 3-bedroom, 2 baths. The 3 of the in the back
And
is
just a second. The 3-bedroom apartment in the front, you have a tenant in that apartment?
Yes.
How much does that tenant pay in rent?
3,500.
Now, the other 2 apartments, are they 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or 3-bedroom?
They're 2-bedroom and 1.5 bath.
And they are currently rented?
Yes.
And what is the rent on each of those apartments?
2,700.
Now, when you rented to Miss Nunez through Section 8, what was the amount of rent Section 8 was paying?
Section 8, they pay me $944.
Section 8 was paying you $944.
Yes.
And how much was Miss Nunez paying you?
Supposed to pay me 1,700.
No. Don't tell me what
Okay.
she was supposed to pay you.
Okay.
You collected rent from her in addition to the money that you got from Section 8. How much money did you collect from her every month, 2018, 19, and 20? How much money did you collect from her?
$944.
Now, you own 40 properties. That's what you told me, all over. Is this the first time you ever...
I have several.
No, just the answer.
Okay.
The
Yes.
answer is no.
Yes.
So you know that Section 8 pays so much and the tenant pays so much. The first month that you collected rent from her, you collected $944, according to you. Who came up with the figure of $944?
When I go there, usually the tenants will show me the paper from the housing authority, because beginning she moved in, we have a walk through with the housing.
Then let me see. Let me see what paper you got from housing in 2018.
Yes.
So initially, and this is dated in 2018, this says estimated family rent to owner $1,756. Well, why didn't you collect that from her starting in 2018?
Your Honor, I was busy collect the other rent, and I didn't bring the paper with me. And I don't know how much it is. When I go there collect the rent, she gave me the $944, and I believe in her. She was paid $944.
Okay, so that's what this case is all about now, because now you say she owes you $16,000 after for 3 years you've been accepting $944 from her. And $940 now, where do you expect her to get $16,000 from? She's a Section 8, which means she can't afford to pay her rent. You accepted $944. If you wanted her to pay $1,756, she would have moved out. Who lives with you? Miss Nunez, who lives with you?
My husband at that
I got it. I understand you have a sore throat. All right, now we're going to Miss Walsh. Miss Walsh, for 3 years, your mother collected $944 from the defendant and never made a demand for her to move or to be evicted. That was your job. I mean, you're the one that you say she calls on you. You're an in-house counsel as needed. So I assume as in-house counsel, you would take a look at this and say in 2018, because she's been your mother for a long time, Mom, that's the wrong rent. That's the wrong rent.
I don't do that part of it, Your Honor. I'm as needed. So my mother does everything herself as far as signing the contract.
She's not going. Where do you expect her to get $16,000 from? She's a Section 8 housing person.
Yeah, I understand that is the amount of the claim, but I understand, Your Honor, because of filing in small claims, there's a jurisdictional limit, and we believe, so I think the most you can get is $5,000. So what I think is, since there's definitely negligence on the part of my mother as well, but she's elderly, she doesn't have a portion of negligence.
Ms. However, your mother owns, don't try to talk over me, your mother owns 40 income-producing properties. English may not be her first language. Money is her secondary language. She's a very smart lady.
Yes.
She collected $944 from the state and $944 from the defendant. If your mother had said to you, she really is supposed to be paying more in 2018, the defendant would have moved because she's a Section 8 person. She accepted $944 from her tenant for 3 years.
If I may, Your Honor?
3 years.
I have a contract actually between the two of them, between plaintiff, my mother, and the defendant, which states the amount of rent total, if I may provide that.
No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. A contract.
I'm sorry. There are two operative contracts. My mother executed a contract with the defendant, and then housing came in. Like I said, I'm not exactly familiar, but housing also comes in, does an inspection, and indicates what the tenant amount is to pay.
All I'm telling you is your mother accepted for 3 years in satisfaction of $44 and did not make a claim for 3 years for any more. What I'm telling you is, I believe by accepting the $944 and lulling her into believing that that was the extent of her obligation, her daughter, who I understand is an attorney, is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right, Your Honor.
Who knows how to file an action to quit because for non-payment of rent. So clearly, if there was a mistake, it was a mistake by both parties. So I'm asking you this question. Where do you expect a Section 8 housing person to come up with $5,000 or $16,000?
I understand, Your Honor.
The answer is nowhere. When are you moving? Because now you know. As of June, when she first came to you, then you knew for the first time that your obligation was different.
Right.
Now, in July, August, September, October, 4 months.
Right.
How much have you paid in rent?
I've paid, so my rent portion went down to $624, and I've been paying on.
Just a second. It went down to $624. What is she talking about, $624, Miss Lynn? What is she talking about?
Okay, the housing dropped. He told me her rent is dropped. So on the August, she received the housing. She said the housing email to her that her rent dropped. So I
just want to know how much rent have you received from her in total since June?
I got let go from my job.
June. Just a second.
I don't think I have that.
Since June, how much rent? June, July, August, September, and October, 5 months. How much have you accepted in rent from her in those 5 months?
So,
Ms. Walsh, you want to answer that question?
Yes, please. So, I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said which month?
Month of June. How much from the state, how much from the defendant in June?
Okay, in June was $944 from the defendant and $944 from the housing authority.
And you accepted it. In June, you accepted $944 and $944 from housing, and in June was the first time you told her she owed more money. That's according to your complaint. Let's go to July. How much did you accept in July?
So she accepted...
Come on, Ms. Walsh.
Okay.
July.
$944 from housing, $944 from the tenant. In addition, Your Honor, we also received $250, and that was acknowledgement of defendant that she did owe, she did underpay Miss Lynn. So I do have that receipt.
August.
The second payment.
1756.
Yeah, 7.
She paid.
No, she paid.
I can't listen to both of you. Will somebody please tell me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In June, when she was paying $944, Miss Walsh, coming back to you, you're the lawyer, did you bring on a proceeding to evict her?
No.
Because she agreed to make a payment.
In July,
And later today,
This is trash that was under the beds.
what did you expect him to move the bed?
This is trash that was around the beds, Your Honor.
There's something ridiculous about that. You should be embarrassed to show that to me.
April Walsh and her mother Mon Lynn claim Mon's former tenant, Maria Nunez, owes for back rent.
Now, I told you, money is your mother's second language. Now,
$1,756 for August. In addition,
from whom?
From the tenant. In addition, the defendant also paid $300 on top of that.
Plus $300, and how much did she receive from Section 8?
$944.
September.
In September, the rent changed per the Housing Authority. I do have the notice here, and her portion.
Just tell me how much she received. Just tell me how much your mother received. Is my
no. And from housing is $944.
October.
She received, the total is $2,700. If you would like me to just.
But she is 22,000.
Her portion.
October.
The same amount, $2,700.
The housing pay me 2,076. The tenants pay me 624.
Did you move in June when she was paying $944? Housing was paying $944. Did you bring Miss Walsh, coming back to you, you're the lawyer, did you bring on a proceeding to evict her? The answer is either yes or no.
No.
Because she agreed to make a payment.
In July, in July, she paid you $944 from housing plus an additional $250. Did you move to evict her?
No.
No, because she was making the
Because
payment.
she said she's going to make a payment for me.
No, she wasn't. No, okay. She's not paying you any more money. Are you moving?
Fairly soon, yes, Your Honor.
When? Not very soon. When?
Well,
I mean, right now, they got $2,700 from you in October.
sometime after Christmas, Your Honor. It's really hard right now to find a place. After Christmas.
That's fine.
Yes.
Right now, you're not doing badly. She's not paying you for the last 3 years. Goodbye.
Your Honor,
We're done.
may I
Thank you.
just interject, please?
No. Bye.
But she knew that.
She stopped payment already.
I have documents that show she knew
Goodbye.
this beforehand.
When she moved in there,
Goodbye.
and she
Very
got
good.
a new.
We're done. You had a very good tenant for
Okay,
3
this
years.
case is
Made a lot of money.
concluded.
Goodbye.
Parties are excused.
We believe that she just took advantage of my mother.
I did not take advantage.
Definitely participate more in her business practice.
It does kind of, hurt me a little bit that she would think that I deliberately would do this to her.
All parties in the matter of Jennings versus Rambos. Approach the podium, please.
Giles Jennings is suing his former landlord, Melina Rumbos, for wrongfully withholding a portion of his security deposit.
Mr. Jennings, you are suing for the return of your security deposit on an apartment that you rented from Miss Rumbos.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Rumbos withheld part of your security, sending you only a small portion of it for 2 reasons. One, she said she had to pay a cleaning fee, and the next thing was she said she really gave you a break by not charging you for the whole month of June when you were actually out in June on the 15th, and you had a new tenant that moved in on the 22nd.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. So let's go back to some basics, Ms. Rumbos. The defendant signed a 1-year lease with you, and he paid $1,850 for a fully...
Yes, Your
He
Honor.
gave you $1,850 as a security deposit. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Correct.
He was a faithful tenant in paying his rent, and he left the apartment in very decent condition,
Yes, Your Honor.
not causing any damage to the apartment.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you know how lucky you are when you had a tenant who paid faithfully? He left the apartment clean. Your moving company found dust under the bed, and you say that he's responsible for that? You're ridiculous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Giles Jennings is suing his former landlord, Melina Rumbos, for wrongfully withholding a portion of his security deposit.
Now, when you re-rented the apartment to the new tenant that moved in, did you rent the apartment furnished or unfurnished?
Unfurnished.
Which means that you had to hire a moving company. Did you hire a moving company?
Correct, Your Honor.
He moved out on the 15th, am I correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
On what date did you hire the moving company?
It was on the 17th, Your Honor.
2 days later.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they removed your living room, a bedroom, and a dining area. Hire the cleaning company.
The cleaning lady came the same day. The movers came early in the morning.
And your cleaning lady, your person,
yes,
came after the movers.
Correct.
Now, you kept some of his security deposit, you allege, for cleaning. I would like you to show me photographs of what you allege that he left in an unreasonable condition, allowing you to keep a penny of his security deposit. Show me a photograph.
Yes, Your Honor. This is trash that was under the beds.
That was under the bed?
Yes.
That you moved?
Yeah, but he lived
You have
there
to give him his whole...
he lived
Well,
there
what did you expect him to move the bed?
This is trash that was around the beds, Your Honor.
There's something ridiculous about that. You should be embarrassed to show that to me.
Well,
you should be embarrassed to show that to me.
Your Honor.
Embarrassed. You had moving people that came in. He cleaned the apartment. Your moving people moved 3 rooms of furniture. And you're showing me dust. You're not showing me a filthy sink. You're not showing me a filthy toilet. Let me see the rest.
This is from the bathtub.
Come on.
This is
so far,
only,
that's nonsense.
This is only some pictures. I didn't take pictures of the walls, but he did leave the apartment. And
I just want to see what you're showing me.
Okay, this is
what
just
is,
the bathtub.
What is that you're showing me?
This is the bathtub.
And what are you showing me on the bathtub?
There's a dirt and some marks here.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, how much does she owe you for the days, sir? For the days from the 15th?
She owes me $586.59.
$586 for the days and the cleaning fee.
Well, the total with the cleaning fee is $686.59, ma'am.
Because she charged you half of the cleaning fee.
Yes. Or she
Is
charged
that
me a $100 cleaning fee. I don't know what the total cleaning fee was.
She said it was $200. She only charged you half. She shouldn't have charged you anything. Don't you realize, Mr. Rumbas, how lucky you are? In June of 2020, your apartment was really only vacant, and you weren't paid for maybe 4 days. He moved out on the 15th. You didn't get your stuff out of there till the 17th. The earliest the new people could have moved in is the 18th. They actually, according to you, moved in on the 22nd. Do you know how lucky you are just staying there? Landlords can't collect rent when you had a tenant who paid faithfully throughout his entire lease, March, April, May, part of June. He left the apartment clean. Your moving company found dust under the bed, and you say that he's responsible for that? You're ridiculous. $686. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
We have to have evidence in order to connect the defendant to your dead dog.
I can't find that. Can I just state something?
You can't state anything. I want to see evidence.
Judge Judy.
There has to be a cleaning fee.
I got what I was owed, and that's all I was asked for.
You could have, cleaned a little bit more.
She did send me the little pile of dust that I was like, wow, okay.
Mr. Jennings was a great tenant, and I'm surprised that we had to come here.
I'm surprised that we had to go this far and didn't really want to, but money's money, so...
I did not think anything like this could possibly occur.
After a night with the sitter.
The dog ingested something.
A day under the knife.
Pain, great pain.
And the evidence isn't bouncing her way.
It's a rubber ball, part of a rubber ball.
Have you ever seen that before?
No.
The dog was in your care.
This is Judge Judy. Lori Gladstone and her husband, Fred Silva, are suing dog daycare owner Shannon Bishop for vet bills as the result of Shannon's negligence.
Judge, this is case number 121 on the calendar in the matter of Gladstone Silva versus Bishop. Parties have been sworn in. Have a seat, please.
Miss Gladstone, you and your husband have this adorable golden doodle puppy, now probably 10 months old.
Yes.
Last month, you were going away for a couple of days. The defendant has a dog boarding service, and it is your claim that owing to the defendant's negligence, your dog ingested a foreign object while at her facility. Your dog had surgery, was in fact a foreign object that was causing a blockage. Your vet bills were over $7,000, and you want the defendant to be responsible for those. That's what the case is about.
Yes, correct.
The defendant has a counterclaim. The defendant's counterclaim is that you never paid for the boarding services, and in addition to that, that you defamed her on the internet in her business. Or have you not used the defendant's services before?
Yes, I have.
For this dog?
Yes.
For any other dog?
No, this is our only dog we ever had.
And you never had a dog
No,
before?
I never had a dog before.
This dog, according to you, also suffers from an irritable bowel syndrome for which it takes medication.
Yes,
Is that correct? Prior to October, I think it was 23rd, is that it? October 23rd to the 25th?
Yes.
How many times had you boarded your dog, whose name is Bingo, with the defendant?
Twice.
Were those overnight visits?
Yes.
For how many nights?
In June, it was for 5 nights, I believe, and 2 weeks prior to this incident, it was for the exact same time, 2 nights.
And during the period of time in June, there were no incidents. You were perfectly satisfied with her care of your dog.
No, actually, in June, we had traveled out of state. We extended our stay, and our dog actually was on very specific medicine for his IBS. I mean, food. He was on a specific prescribed diet from the vet. And we decided to extend our stay for a couple of days in Mexico, to which I texted Miss Bishop and told her that the exact food we needed for Bingo. And could she please get that? Would that be possible? A few days later, she texted me that he had been projectile vomiting into other dogs' crates. He was very ill and needed to go to the vet, and I was in Mexico. I said, I'm not able to do that. She took the dog to the vet as per our request, and at that point, he had a flare-up of his IBS. We were not sure what the cause was. We came home. He was staying at the vet for 2 more nights. We picked the dog up and had to pick up his belongings when we returned, and realized in the crate of items she gave us back, she had indeed replaced his food with a different type of food. That wasn't his prescribed food, which ultimately caused the flare-up in his IBS. He has a very sensitive puppy stomach and needs to be on a very specialized diet. I didn't
That means he should be with his mother.
Right, I didn't...
That means he should be with his mother. And his mother doesn't pack just enough food and then decide to stay in Mexico.
Well, it was a COVID situation at the time, so it was...
If you went in June, that was during COVID.
Well, the dog was in her care and was instructed to give medicine. So, I mean, that was... I entrusted her and her pet sitting service to provide the care.
Personal responsibility. You've never had a pet before. You have a pet now that has, according to you, an illness in a young dog. Irritable bowel syndrome in a young dog is an unusual illness. I've had dogs all my life, so I know it is an unusual illness for a puppy. So listen to what you just told me. You went to Mexico during COVID. You left your puppy with her in June. In what month did you get the dog?
In April.
So you had the dog for, let's say, 8 weeks. During that 8-week period of time, the dog was diagnosed with, because I assume you didn't buy the dog.
No, we adopted the dog. We adopted the dog, and we were not, it wasn't identified his IBS at that point in time.
Well, he should have been, because if you have a puppy that has a problem immediately, then the first thing you do is take it to a vet within the first week. Within the first 5 days, especially if you adopted the dog. What I'm telling you is this is what you just told me. You got a puppy. The puppy was sick. You went to Mexico in June for 5 days. You weren't supposed to be there for 5 days. You extended your stay, but you only provided the sitter for enough food for 2 days. You extended the stay and then said to her, this is what the dog to you. She didn't get it, which would have said to me as a pet owner, you know what? The dog was sick. When it came back from her, she returned the dog in the crate. She told me that the dog was sick.
No, she
I'm not
didn't.
leaving
She
my
didn't
dog
take the
again
dog.
with her.
No,
I'm-
she took... Okay.
She told you the dog was sick and projectile vomiting into other dogs' crates, and she took it to a vet. So, according to you, when you got the crate back, you saw that she didn't get the food that you asked her to get for you. So what did you do? You went away again and left your dog again with her.
But there was a period I
Miss
didn't
Gladstone,
use her. I didn't use her for a long period of time.
Your Honor.
Well, just a second. Did you use anyone else?
Yes, we did. We had my
Well, why didn't
husband's
you go
best
back?
friend's
Just-
daughter.
Miss
Because
Glad-
then it became...
Miss Gladstone, you're not following me. If I leave my child with a babysitter and I've given specific instructions to the babysitter and the instructions are not followed, I don't use that babysitter again. Because you did leave the dog again with her twice.
Right. I wasn't dissatisfied with her to that degree. I did not think anything like this could possibly occur. You're absolutely right.
Well,
and
just a
since
second,
then,
you
I
just
used
told-
her.
you-
I used
Miss-
her for day sitting. I used her for she does dog walking during the day. A lot of the dogs in the neighborhood go to her for play dates during the day. From to dog could play with his friends and other dogs at her house, and I didn't feel like there would be an issue. So after time,
Well, that's what
we were going.
Miss Gladstone, pay attention. I asked you when you used her before. My question to you was a simple one when you went off. I said, when you used her before, because you said you had, were you satisfied? You said to me, not really. When I left her in June, and you proceeded to tell me the whole story.
Well, I had questions
So you said to me-
because I had
you said
questions
to
in the
me
back of my
I
mind
wasn't
that I
satisfied.
couldn't prove. I couldn't prove
well,
it.
I said to you, were you satisfied? You said no. And if you weren't satisfied, I wouldn't have left my dog again. Anyway, what your whole lawsuit is about is that you claimed that while the dog was in her care, the third time you left the dog with her on an overnight stay, and in between you had let her walk the dog, day sit the dog, and I assume continue to be satisfied, and other people in your neighborhood do the same thing, and according to you, that goes to her countersuit. You say that the dog required surgery. On what day did the dog require surgery? Was that the day you came home?
The day we chose to bring him to the vet the day after we came home because I have a letter from my vet. Okay, well, the vet said that he
medical
ingested
reports,
an
I mean, you
It's a
can't
medical
tell me-
report.
you
No, it's a
cannot-
medical report. This is a page from the medical report.
Just a second. I will absolutely read a medical report, not a letter.
Oh, no, I'm
Not
sorry.
a
I
letter.
apologize.
Not a to whom it may
It's a page
concern,
from the...
Not
no,
a to whom
no,
it may
no, no,
concern
no.
letter.
This is a medical report.
Yeah, right. Okay. Where did you go on October 23rd
Palm
to 25th?
Springs. We drove to Palm Springs for 2 nights.
Okay. When you came home from Palm Springs, you came home on the 25th.
Miss Shannon
You took the dog.
Shannon texted me
Just
Sunday morning.
Don't try to. We're not. You have to understand something, Miss Gladstone. We're not equals here. When I start to talk, you have to stop. I ask questions. I hope that you are taking in what I'm telling you. I'm a dog owner. I'm a dog owner who never lets their dog go someplace else overnight. Just not my thing. The dogs go with me where I go, especially a new puppy with IBS problems. Okay, you came home on the 25th and took the dog to the vet on the 26th. What time did you pick the dog up on the 25th?
I picked him up in the evening from Shannon's
What
house.
time?
I would say it was about
7 p.m. 7 p.m., Your Honor.
Okay. And what time did you take the dog to the vet on the 26th?
7 a.m.
And when did the dog have surgery?
6 p.m. that evening.
And now I'd like to see the...
That's one piece of it. I have another.
Just a second. Shh. Just a second. Did the doctor give you what they had taken out?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
It's a rubber ball.
Oh, it's part of a rubber ball. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Miss Bishop,
Yes, Your Honor.
have you ever seen that before?
No. This is actually the first time I've gotten to see the evidence.
It's like a sponge ball.
I am so diligent about what toys I buy for the dogs that come to my house. I do not use balls small enough
that dogs can tear them apart. I don't use...
No, that looks like a bigger ball.
This is
it
the
looks
same
like a bigger
size.
ball, but just a piece of it. Is that what it looks like?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you're not angry with her, why would you post anything negative?
I'm angry because I took the dog and realized he was not well and needed to be treated immediately.
So why didn't you take him immediately?
Lori Gladstone claims the care of dog daycare owner Shannon Bishop.
Okay, I gather, Ms. Gladstone, from this report that I just read the following things. Dr. Liz said that discussed that foreign object most likely consumed within 24 hours of onset of clinical signs. Now, you went away on the 23rd. When did you speak to the defendant when she first reported to you that the dog was lethargic?
10:25 on Sunday at 11:40, she texted me that Bingo had thrown up 3 times over the backyard, his breakfast, and asked if he does that often.
That was on Sunday.
At 11:40.
That was the day you were coming home?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time she had told you?
Yes.
He had
and
no
you would
symptoms.
drop the dog off?
He had no symptoms up until throwing up. He was playing Friday and Saturday like there was not a care in the world.
Right, so the...
Okay. According to this doctor,
correct,
the object was probably ingested within 24 hours of the onset of the problem, which means, Ms. Bishop, that the dog was in your care when the dog ingested something. Okay, has passed since his surgery. How has he been?
Oh, when he recovered from the surgery, he's fabulous. He's on medication. He's on medication to control all of it.
Ms. Gladstone, the defendant, based upon what I'm reading, may or may not be partially responsible, but you seem to think that it was as a result of her negligence.
Right, and I will tell you why.
But this is somebody that not only you and all of your friends used consistently for daycare and for overnight care. So if, when playing with a rubber ball, the dog playfully pulled it apart and ate a piece of that, that was the first time the dog was sick in her care, and according to you, it had been on play dates and daycare without overnights and at least 3 overnight visits, 1 for 5 days. So this isn't somebody who's a negligent person. Otherwise, you would be a stupid person to let your dog go to stay with her again at least twice overnight and multiple times during the day. You seem to be angry with her.
I'm not at all angry.
Well, if you're not angry and if you understand that she runs a business that you were satisfied with for many months and that took the burden off of you when you wanted to go to weekend, that's according to your vet, that he's taken care of by various sitters when you're out of town, which is frequently. You use her, and if you're not angry with her, explain the posts that you put up about her. You don't know how long that object had been in your dog. Your vet said probably ingested within 24 hours of the onset of the illness. She advised you at 11:40, not even 48 hours after you left the dog with her, that the dog was vomiting, was lethargic. It's possible that the dog ate something in her house. What I'm asking you is, if you're not angry with her, because you seem so angry with her.
I mean, look, it's an unfortunate situation. I was very happy with Shannon's care. I had suspicions about flare-ups in his IBS.
Okay.
I took the dog and realized he was not well and needed to be taken, treated immediately.
So why didn't you take him immediately?
It was late by the time we got him home, assessed him, tried to figure out what course of action to do because his vet was closed. And we thought, you know what, he's exhausted. He looks like he could sleep. We had spoken to the medical facility and they said, you most likely can bring him in the morning, let him sleep. So 7 a.m. we brought and said he needed to be transported immediately for trauma.
Just a second. You picked up the dog and the dog appeared to be sick. You said he wasn't himself. We were very worried. He had been throwing up and he looked awful. My dog, at 7 o'clock at night, I would have taken him to an emergency vet. That's what I would have done.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
But when you are in a service business and somebody is dissatisfied, they are entitled to communicate with their friends her opinion. That doesn't mean that I, in a legal sense, believe you're responsible for what happened to her dog.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lori Gladstone says dog daycare owner Shannon Bishop owes for vet bills after Lori's dog swallowed a foreign object while in Shannon's care.
Okay. May I see what she wrote about you on the internet?
These were Facebook posts, some of them. I've highlighted some of them. Not even money will make this okay.
I've never mentioned her name once. Never mentioned her name.
Just a second. I'm just reading it. It was clearly not supervised. Well, that's your opinion. She's allowed to say that. It was clearly not supervised. Keep going. Okay. Ms. Bishop, I'm going to address your counterclaim.
Okay.
I'm dismissing your counterclaim. I'm dismissing your counterclaim because she is clearly someone who was angry and upset. Her dog was sick. She probably almost lost the dog. She's clearly attached to the dog. She's never had an animal before. She leaves the dog with other people when they go away. And the dog is a dog that has its own problems and had its own problems from probably a very young age, who probably this exacerbated ingesting something in whosever care it was who, when he ingested it, probably exacerbated a pre-existing condition.
Certainly.
She was upset.
Certainly.
And she was venting to friends and neighbors. I'm sorry that you had people cancel.
The problem with that is 90% of my business is referral and word of mouth. I only have my reputation to go on. So when this is being thrown through the mud through people who know me and could possibly potential customers, that's a problem for me.
That's always true. But when you are in a service business and somebody is dissatisfied, they are entitled to communicate with their friends her opinion. That doesn't mean that I, in a legal sense, believe you're responsible for what happened to her dog.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. She left her dog with you for 48 hours. Within that period of time, the dog developed symptoms that she said hadn't happened before. Well, she came home, and what she didn't do the night that she came home is she went to sleep, put the dog to sleep until the next morning. And if your dog is that sick, then if you are a dog person, which you're becoming, you take the dog to an emergency facility if you think that it's a life-threatening situation. That's what you do.
I didn't hear it was life-threatening.
I can't. Well, if you didn't think that it was life-threatening, why would you think that she would think it's life-threatening?
Because she's a professional, and I didn't realize he was throwing up all day. I just wanted to know.
I don't understand. I actually don't think you should have an animal. Actually. I think that you have a certain lifestyle, and your lifestyle is inconsistent with caring for an animal that's going to be sick probably and be on medication forever.
Well, that's not what the doctor wrote in her report. The doctor.
Anyway, your case is dismissed. We're finished. We're done.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, a trucker takes a spin with the company credit card.
The refrigerator trailer ran out of fuel because he was in gambling.
Judge Judy.
This dog is a part of our life. It's our family.
I was not negligent. I am so careful about how I care for those dogs.